We talked a lot about how his program weathered the pandemic, how they did things. We talked about the fall a little bit, and we talked about the stadium and adding the deck on the wall outside the stadium. But we didn't get too much in detail into the players, and I wanted to do that. But before we do that, now that the schedule's out, this is you were exactly right when you told us before it came out that this would be challenging. I like the event over in Louisiana, over in Baton Rouge. I forget what they're calling it, the uh, Bayou Challenge, something like that. But whenever you get you and LSU and Louisiana in the same ballpark, that's pretty good stuff, Kenny.
Yeah, that's a good weekend without a doubt. So we'll fight through it, and hopefully we'll play well. Because if you don't bring your A game that weekend, you got a chance to go 0-5. So, but we got a couple other good weekends to start off with. We got to stay focused for and get off to a great start, and hopefully the weather's good where we're going to go, and everything stays healthy with COVID, and we're good, to go on that.
You start off over in Monroe and Lipscomb, Louisiana Tech, Jacksonville State. You'll see Tech twice. You'll see Arkansas on the way out the door. I like the event in Frisco because I don't know where they're going to play that, but we've been down a couple of times. I have because OSU's played in the baseball event. Frisco has become quite possibly the number one sports town in Texas.
Yeah, it's a great little spot. In Texas they build parks the way you should. They put a lot of money and resources into them. We're actually playing at a city park, brand new complex and fields and all that kind of stuff. And that a lot of people may go, wow, I wonder why they're playing at a park. We do that a lot in softball. In California, most of the preseason tournaments are played in different type of parks. Or say we go to Arizona State and we play 3 or 4 games on their field, and then we play at a city park on the other game. So I have not been there. I've talked to some people before we committed to playing, saying the place is in great shape, and they're going to allow fans and plenty of space and all that. So it'll be good for everyone. So both those weekends ought to be really good, and we'll be tested.
Yeah, you got your events here. I know you'll get BYU in. You'll play them in Oklahoma City, but Houston's going to come here. I remember covering the regional here when Houston came in. Was that regional? That was that super regional with Houston.
That's a super. Yeah, it was
That's
a
what I
super
thought it was, a
regional.
super.
Yeah, it was
And
before me, but that was in 11, I think, when it was.
yeah, so Houston, they've got a good program. We talk about North Texas and Tulsa. I don't know as much about Omaha and New Mexico, but plenty of. That's what I love is once you come back on March 5th, fans here are going to get again kind of like your schedule was set up last year. They're going to get a great long run of opportunities to watch your team play before you hit the road again toward the end of the month on March 24th to Tulsa, because I count that BYU Oklahoma City game at the Softball Hall of Fame as kind of a home event. I guess you could count Tulsa that way too, but you don't leave the state from March 5th to March 24th.
Yeah, that'll be nice. You hope that the weather's good. You hope that we're getting more people vaccinated, and we're getting closer to that herd immunity deal that we can, have more people in our stands. Right now, we're going to be limited on what that is. It's better than nothing, but sure not what we like to have here, to have our home field advantage. So it's probably good that we're not playing at home for for an extended period of time until then, and we can get ourselves kind of acclimated to playing again and being around each other, and that'll be a good run of home games without it. We've got more home games than we've ever had on our schedule, so that's one thing that is really cool. I'm trying to play more at home. I want to play more at home. It's just getting harder to get people here. So, we'll just keep fighting that. Jeff does a great job. Jeff Cottrell on our schedule works hard on that, and we're getting better each year.
yeah, you're kicking their butts. They don't want to come in here and get their butt kicked. I mean,
I don't know about
that's
that,
that's the way
but
it is. Hey, and then before we get back to the team, two questions on the Big 12. Well, not a question. I mean, the Baylor series here that'll be awesome because you get one of the better teams in the league here at home. I know you got to go to Texas and go to Lubbock, and then couldn't help but notice in the past that Bedlam thing has kind of been like some of the baseball teams do, a roundabout. You play at both places, and maybe the team that's technically the home team gets two in their ballpark. And this year, you're just going to go all three in Stillwater. I'm assuming next year you'll go play all three down in their place.
yeah, I've never really liked the way that this has been played. I've voiced my concerns over that since day one. I've got no problem to play non-conference games either in Norman or OKC. I think that's probably a really good, healthy thing for both teams if they want it. But I just think when you're going to play a conference series, they should all be played in the same venue, the same place, the same time. You know, I first got here. We were playing a conference game in like March, and then one game, and then just playing two games like later on in like May, and I'm like, it makes no sense. And I've fought on this for a long time. COVID kind of helped this because last year's games weren't played, so we were, I don't know that we both agree on this. It's more what we wanted, and I'll just leave it at that. But we are playing all three games in Stillwater. I think it's great for our fans, and in turn, we'll have to go to Norman next year and play all through three games there. But again, that's how these series are played, and that's how they should be played. There's no need. These games are too important to be breaking them up and traveling 3 straight days. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, um, baseball has gone to that system as well, and I agree with you. I think when it's your home series in conference, and I know you can say, well, yeah, but when it's not, at least you get one in your ballpark. I agree with you. When it's your year to host, hey, come play us here. And when it's your year to go on the road, suck it up, go play at their place and see what you can get done. I like that. I agree. I like that better.
Yeah, yeah. So it should be fun. Should be a really good conference. Getting Baylor and OU here. Two obviously top 25 teams, and then we'll go to Texas, another top 25 team. And then don't sleep on these other conference teams. I mean, this conference is really good, and you know that. But it doesn't matter. I mean, Kansas is much improved. Iowa State's much improved. Texas Tech has a new coach that I think a lot of people are excited about, and this conference is good, man. It's going to be all you want.
All right, let's talk a little bit. And I think when you talk softball, if you don't start talking about the girls in the circle, you're missing the main emphasis because you got to have those pitchers. And obviously, as a transfer last year, and I love her attitude. Carrie Eberly came in, and she was everything we were led to believe she would be coming from Virginia Tech. And I think she made the other pitchers in your program better. I mean, she brought up the level, and I think the others played right off of her.
Yeah, she's a special kid. I mean, she's obviously has a physical presence about her that she just walks out, and you're like, oh boy. And she pitches like that. Obviously, had an All-American year last year. When you give up in this day and age, when you give up less than half a run a game, that's for real. And this has become a way more offensive game than the old original days of our game, which were great too. But this game has changed. There's a lot of offense, a lot of great athletes who are playing this, and to do what she did last year against that schedule, alarming, exciting. Glad she's back. And I agree with you. I think she really helped Kelly Maxwell. I think she's really good for Logan Simonek. and I really hope for the other 4 kids on our staff that they're paying attention. I keep reminding them that they should be watching every pitch that she throws in the bullpen, how she prepares, the way that perfection is on her mind. Um, so she does a lot of really good things there that I'm thankful for, and I expect her to have another great year.
You mentioned Logan and Kelly. The other one that I got to see some last year that I think I think's got so much potential is Madison Boyd. I mean, I like what I'd seen of her, and obviously she's a little bit younger, but I think she's got a lot of like I said, upward potential to really get even better.
Yeah, I think that Maddie Boyd does have a chance. The hard part for her is, and Savannah Evans and Caitlin Carwile and Gabby Spring is Carrie's going to Carrie, Logan, and Kelly. Did it last year, and so they're going to get to the first shot. They still have to perform. But we kind of have a little bit of a log jam. So I need one of those 4 kids to step up. Probably the one that had the best fall would be Savannah Evans. She gave our hitters some fits. She's doing it again in the spring as we come back. Kind of unique. She doesn't throws a drop ball like Carrie, not quite as hard yet, but got the size, athleticism. Just a big 6 foot tall and strong, and just figuring some things out. She's a freshman, so we go through those type of things. But we've got some. You come out and look at this pitching staff. I mean, there's some size, some length. It's an intimidating group, but it's going to be hard, to get innings, past the 3 kid. You know what I mean? That's just reality. So we got to figure out a way to try to see what these kids can do, and we're doing that by going live each day here to like we're going to do today. We're going to kind of inter squad about 6 innings and practice and all that, and hopefully they just continue to perform. But a lot of talent. Just got to put it all together in the circle against hitters in front of 3 or 4 thousand fans.
Yeah, when we had you on, I guess it was not last week, week before last. Um, I really bragged like I do all the time on Allison February because when the season halted, when the pandemic took hold, she was in a zone and she was killing it on the on the field on the diamond like I hadn't seen very many softball players do here in Stillwater. I mean, she had one home run in a game I called that I swear the ball never got more than 10 feet off the ground. It just went straight out, 10 feet line. I mean, frozen rope. Uh,
Yep.
but then, you look on the other side, and I have so much respect for Sydney Pennington. She's such a leader. She's a tremendous player. Uh, and those are two. Yeah, Gary Ward used to use the old term bell cow. Those are, and we shouldn't use that with I guess female softball players. That doesn't apply, but stud. I don't care what you want to use. Special. When they walk out of the clubhouse, when they walk on between the lines, that you pay attention to them just because they've got magnetism. And I'm talking,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
got other players there too, but Allison and Sydney especially, you see them and you say, "Hey, that girl's special. She's a special player."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're 2 kids that are really good, and they do some great things. I'm always amazed, and even you're around here a lot, and I'm amazed how a kid like Kylie Naomi. I've been doing a ton of interviews, and everybody always asks me about Pennington and February, and nobody ever brings up Kylie, and I'm just like, this is crazy to me. I mean, this may be one of the best players in the country, and it's not. I'm not mad. I'm just amazed because she's such a special talent that we have, and when you put her and Sydney on that left side of our field, I don't. I'd put it up against anybody in the country, and I mean anybody. It's that good. And so when you start talking about Febrey and Pennington, Naomi, nobody's really talking about Carly Petty yet because last year she didn't really get going until probably our last 4 or 5 games. But she may be as talented as any of them offensively. And now you got to do it in games, and she's doing it in inter squads and all that kind of stuff against our kids, which we think are good. So we've got Reagan Wright, who transferred in here from UTA. And we've never really had an offensive catcher here. Well, we got one right now. She's going so good with the bat offensively at this point. I know it's early and we're in their squads, but going so good, she's putting herself in the DP role when she's not catching. So we feel like we've got a lot of good pieces here. Cheyenne Factor's coming back. I feel like she's rounding back into her freshman form, at least the way she's performing right now in practice. He's kind of back looking like the kid we saw the first year. Rich Berg is doing things that we feel like she's capable of, coming off that 14 home run sophomore year. So, if we can get all these pieces to play together, you never know. This could be an exciting year. I think it will be. I just don't know what it'll look like yet and all that. And that's the joy of coaching is just seeing where this journey kind of takes you.
Yeah, and you named all the kids I wanted to name. I mean, Carly last year, you were saying the things that you're saying now, and she did. I mean, as a freshman coming out of Moore, she had some of those freshman things that happen. It doesn't just always click in, even when you got that supreme talent. And Cheyenne Factor, have always liked Cheyenne, and then you mentioned Naomi and so yeah, all the players, and I'll tell you another one. I wanted to ask you what you're doing with Jordan Doggett, who's in from Georgia, and because she's a tremendously talented young lady, and then you look at one of my favorites just because she cares so much about the team, and she seems to come up big a lot of times when she gets that pinch hit or that opportunity is a player like Chelsea Alexander. So, I mean, you've got all kinds of pieces. The pressure's on you, Kenny, to play the right tunes when it's time to play. I mean, if this were a musical instrument, I mean, you're talking about top 10 hits all the time. I mean, you're the Beatles right now.
Well, we don't know. I don't know about that. Jordan Doggett's a kid who transferred in here from Georgia, had a miserable fall, physically, was hurt almost the whole fall, felt the pressure around her, and I didn't do a very good job of. I gave her too much rope in being honest with me about. I'm big on if you're hurt, sit out. If you're just banged up, play. And she kept telling me, I'm okay, I'm fine. Well, she wasn't okay. And she had a groin issue that just never went away. And so she never got to perform the way she got to. Carly Petty outperformed her. And I think really Jordan's going to be better off in our outfield. If we need her to play second base, she can do that. So I know that that's there. But I'm telling you, a kid who's come back from our break, Jordan has been unbelievable. A different kid since Chris missed break, and very happy for her. She made some adjustments and just herself and her outlook on things, and that's part of getting transfers in here. You gotta speed the process up on getting to know them, and had some good heart-to-heart talks over the break. She took those to heart. Come back here, just a completely different kid. I would tell you she's probably in the starting lineup right now in our outfield. So it's exciting to see her bounce back and really go well. Chelsea kind of been up and down, had a really good fall, kind of struggling right now, but it's just it's part of hitting a round ball with a round bat. It's difficult, as you know, and so she's battling along with Haley Busby. Taylor Tuck has been unbelievable. with her bat since she's been back. Got set back here a couple of days back. She fouled the ball off her foot. We thought it was broke. We got great news; it's not broke. So she'll be out for a couple of days, but she's swinging it really good. We got a lot of options. We got a lot of speed. I got a couple of freshmen, Scotland David, and she's a kid that can just absolutely fly and tall, long, beats Kylie in races, which we've never had here, so that's great. Then we've got another one in Avery Hobson, who's a little smaller in stature, but is a short game expert, can fly. So she's fighting to play here. We've just got a lot of things, and then we've got another local kid in Caitlin Carwile, who's a pitcher hitter, hitting much better than the way she's pitching right now. I think she has a chance to be a bona fide Division I, all conference type hitter here. And so she probably gets cheated because we're pulling her in a lot of different directions, pitching and hitting. So the focus is tough for her. But she's really doing some things. So the future's bright. This team's bright. Like I've told them, this is a unique year. We're going to lose some kids at some point, most likely. We may even have to pause, like you've seen across the country. And I keep telling all these kids that may not see their name in the lineup just quite yet, your job is just to continue to keep training and get better each day, because most likely we're going to need everybody at some point in time. And if you're not ready, it's kind of shame on you, because we've been preaching this the whole time and giving them tons of opportunity with a lot more inner squads and live at bats and things like that, so they can just continue to grow. So I'm excited. I don't know. I'm just, it's day by day. I'm just trying to love each day after going through what you went through last year. I'm not looking forward to anything. I'm just trying to enjoy today. And then we'll worry about tomorrow when it's here, because we learned the hardest lesson of all time. There is no guarantees. It can be taken away in a matter of just an hour. And so we're just trying to enjoy it, enjoy our time together, and we'll see where it takes us.
Last thing with Cowgirls softball coach Kenny Gajewski, you play in less than 2 weeks, February 12th. Basically a week from Friday, you'll be in Monroe, Louisiana, playing Lipscomb. All right, you said something in our interview previously, and I agreed with it. You said that last year that team was maybe the best team you'd ever had from a standpoint of all the girls pulled for each other. It was a very together team, not much splintering, if any at all. It was that, one for all for one type mantra. As a coach, you do everything you can to promote that, but at the end of the day, your players have to buy into it. How's this group? So much of it is the returning group, but there's new keys, Reagan Wright and the freshmen that have come in, and Jordan. How's this group looking in that regard? Because when you get that, Kenny, like you said, that is so special when you have that as a coach.
Well, I'll be very frank. It wasn't very good start, and it wasn't like we were having a lot of personal issues. We just weren't having any togetherness time, and we had to kind of figure out ways to force that just a bit. We always, when you're coaching, you're always going to have little things that pop up. But I'm somebody that likes to hit them just head on. I like to bring kids in and say, what's the problem? Like, why are you acting like this? Like, this is nuts. Like, I'm the only thing I can help you with. I'm an okay coach, but I'm a better person in being able to read the way you're treating so and so, or she's treating you, and I can tell that something is not right. And so I've just tried to, I have just this amazing staff with John and Jeff and Stacy still being here, even though she's our director of ops. She's as trusted as anybody as I have here. Shippy back, Maddie Sue Montgomery, and we just spend a lot of time just trying to make sure that we're doing well off our field, because I know that if we're right there and these girls are genuinely excited for each other, even when you're competing against somebody, that good things will happen. And last year, it was the best team I'd ever been a part part of team-wise. And then to top it off, we were really talented. This year we're more talented, but up until the last probably 8 weeks, I didn't think we were a very good team. And I've had some great conversations with our captains from last year. I thought they may have been as big a part of the problem as anything, and not that they were doing things wrong. Just I didn't feel like they were doing a lot of things right. And to be a captain, it's like uncommon. You have to be uncommon. You can't be like everybody else. There's a responsibility about being great and handling things. And so I just reminded them that that's their job if that's what they want to continue to do. And they've done that. They've come a long way, and it's really shown. And I love where this team is at, but there's nothing like getting on a bus and traveling. That's where teams really gel. That's where teams really. I love to bus. I hate to fly. I love to bus. I love to fly because it's easy, but the bus is where friendships are started. It's like kind of being like in the batting cage, like the conversations that are had in a batting cage on your own time. Nothing a lot like it. It's where you figure out a lot of life problems and a lot of life issues. And I'm looking forward to jumping on a bus and continuing what this team has worked so hard over the last 8 weeks to get to. And I think it'll really be a good thing. So we're in a good spot. We're not perfect yet. We're not exactly where I want to be, but I don't want to be where we want to be at the end yet. You know what I mean? I want to work towards that. So it's special.
I appreciate the time. The bus is coming a week from Friday. The Cowgirls will be in Monroe, Louisiana, with a bunch of teams down there, starting with Lipscomb. They'll get Louisiana Tech a couple of times, so it'll be a good challenge to start off. And the first 3 weeks are on the road, so there'll be bus time in there for you and your crew. Kenny, I appreciate it. Schedule looks great, and again, like I said, I think I'm not trying to put the heat on, but this team can do whatever they want to. I really believe that, and after watching what they were doing last year, I felt that team got cheated because I think they were going to be capable of doing anything and everything in the postseason. So it's going to be fun to watch this one. Hey, I appreciate it.
Robert, thanks, man. Come on anytime. Appreciate you talking about our team, and we'll be seeing you soon, okay?
Well, yeah, this afternoon. Since you said that, I'm going to sneak over and watch some of that.
Come on.
All right.
Come on. It's nice. There's no wind today. It's like a Chamber of Commerce day.
Yeah, and I got a hoodie on. I'll feel good out there. That'll be great. So,
all right. Come on in.
All right, again, all right, Cowgirl softball coach Kenny Gajewski. We went over there. We'll take a time.